sure never for me. Now, sweet talk to beast, tail jack, go and fetch your bank. Try that and upstate board's a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college turned out me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I said, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to sing. You might get the best of him, but you'll never fool me. Now, sweet talk to beast, tail jack to go and fetch your bank. Try that and upstate board's a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I say, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to sing. You might get the best of him, but you'll never fool me. Now, sweet talk to beast, tail jack, go and fetch your bank. Try that and upstate board's a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college turned out me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I said, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to sing. You might get the best of him, but you'll never fool me. Now, sweet talk to beast, tail jack to go and fetch your bank. Try that and upstate board's a
What is up, 24/7 Buff Fandemonium? It's your boy Swank. It's Tuesday. It's 8 p.m. That means one thing. It's time for the K-Gun Report. We are here to talk to you tonight about a win that happened this last Sunday, yes. But more importantly, an enormous game that is coming prime time Sunday night. We get Collingsworth again. Isn't that great? Now, here's a guy that sucks at commentating, but We're going to watch glued to the TV for the AFC East, baby. We can't wait to get into it. We got a special guest tonight. Let's roll this intro and get into it. I'm too hyped not to, you know?
Yep.
Here we are, and here it is on a Tuesday. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Listen, real quick, right up top, right next to me, my brother from another mother. You know him. You love him. Scooter Magooter. Scott, what do you got?
What's up, Swank? What's up, RT? Welcome to the K-Gun Report. Buff fan base, Bills Mafia. The NFL couldn't have asked for a more perfect ending to a season by having an AFC rivalry matchup that is letting us into the second seed, or scarily enough, I made up that word, out of the playoffs. What a week to talk about Buffalo Bills football. I can't wait to talk with you boys about it.
Well, you know, we thought that, man. What a week to talk about Buffalo Bills football. And we can't wait to hear from you guys in the comments. So keep them coming. And thanks for this big old bump in viewership tonight. Our boy Jerry, he came down with a little sickness, and he is off tonight. But for your viewing and listening pleasure, the soothing sounds of our friend, you know him from Thomas Takes Sports Podcast. You know him from Sunday Session, the best voice in Bills podcasting and live streaming, Mr. Ryan Thomas. Ryan, what is up?
It's good to be here. I was a little superstitious with the fantasy football playoff beard. That's what we're gonna reason with in terms of why I look a little bit more fresher than normal. Beard is gone. Hopefully that doesn't hurt my Bills, but I don't think it will. I don't think anything's gonna get in the way of the Buffalo Bills beating the Dolphins. Spoiler alert, that's the take thus far. We'll dive into it a little bit.
Oh, man.
RT, one change I would have made, RT, is you're so pale that your hat blends in your face, blends into your shirt.
Hey, the tanning bed and me have not agreed for a long time. So
I'm just saying the beard
is a real thing.
would have cut it off. The beard would have made a little bit of texture there, but
I call it the burning bed for me personally, because I'm either
gray
red or
hairs
red,
on the chin at 31. What the heck? Come on.
Wait till you get to be 40, bro. Ugh.
Yeah.
31, oh my God. He's just a kid. He's a kid,
Just
Scooter.
Just a kid.
Listen, we are part of the Buff Fan Base Network. All three of us actually are. So please go support everything they do and follow them all on the tweeters and all that stuff. As part of that, we are sponsored by 26 Shirts. Go to 26shirts.com. See what Del Reed and the gang got cooking up over there. Del Reed, Buffalo Bills Fan of the Year 2023, going to the Super Bowl, baby. Great deals. You know, it's after the holidays. Stuff calms down. Go see what they got going on over there. Help somebody in need right here in Western New York. Amazing. Guys. Whew, man, I want to get into this, but we got to say hi to everybody first. We got our boy Patrick Hughes. What's up, Mafia? And also congratulations to Ryan Thomas, our 2023 K-Gun Fantasy Champ. That's right. RT went from the gutter to the top. He started at the bottom. Now he's here. Number one. Congratulations, RT.
Number one. Hey, it's all about the repeat now. That's what it's all about.
I'm coming for you next year, buddy. I'm over this.
I love it.
I sat back cruise control for the first two seasons. I wanted to let everybody get a chance, and now I'm barreling right through this.
There you go.
Same here. That was me last year. I just wanted to let everybody just kind of underestimate me heading into this year. That was why.
Yeah, see everybody's tells. Yeah.
Guys, this was our first year doing it, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Isn't this the second year?
What's the second?
Yeah. It is. Yep. Uncle James, what is up, Uncle James?
This year we're paying for it. This year I made some coin.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
My bad.
Drinks on RT. We got
Drinks on RT.
What's up, Cook? We got Linda Mary. Josh Cook. Hello, handsome. Do you mind me sending friend request? Damn, Cookie. Yo, this isn't just man. Leave that for him. That's perfect. I don't care if it's a bot or not. It's a love connection here. You get a little bit of something for everybody at Buff Fanimonium, bro. We got our boy Doug. What's up, Doug? We got Justin from Twitter. Bills by a billion. I love it. We got our content creator, Mr. Rob Mullen. It's Bedlam, it's Pandemonium, it's 24/7 Buff Pandemonium. Go over and check out 247buffpandemonium.com/blogs and check out the cover 2. Rob's putting out Hot Fire. It's a great read all the time. We got Casey Nicole. Hello, gents and Mafia family. What up, Casey? And happy belated birthday. Thanks for hanging out with us. We got Jim Graham. What's up? We got Dr. Bruce McKellar. Go Bills. Doc is in. What is up? You can also check out the injury report at 247buffpandemonium.com/blog. And Dr. Bruce got the injury report flying over there. The amazing Ellen Lartz is here. Cannot stand Collingsworth. Let's go Bills. Whew, yeah, it's rough. You know what? You know what's rough about Collingsworth, aside from his whole overall being, is now his son is there. So like literally, we're gonna have like 60 to 70 years of Collingsworths. Like,
and he sounds a little bit like him.
It sounds a lot like
exactly,
him.
Exactly like him. Now here's a guy. Like, I want to close my eyes and have both of them talk, and then just clunk their heads together. Let's see here. We got Tommy Miller from X, Twitter. It's Twitter, right? Can we vote on this right now? It's just Twitter.
It's just Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got our boy Harold Fuller. Go Bills. What's up, brother? We got Robbie from Let's Talk Sports 716. Hello, Scott Swank and RT. Go Bills. Big game Sunday night football. Hell yeah, bro. We're getting right into it. We got Corey Blaine. What's up, Corey? Sean Flavin. What's up, Sean? How are you doing, brother? Thanks for tuning in, man. Let's see. Alan Lartz says, let Cook and company run and let Josh Allen do what he does best. Man, I think we're going to have a lot of talk about offensive strategy going into this week. And I see like house is divided, like Twitter families divided on people are like, let James Cook, and other people are like, let Diggs go for 400 yards. And it'll be a good conversation, We got Debbie Emerton. What's up, Debbie? We got Lonnie Cook. We got Shane Becker. What's up, Shane? I feel like I haven't seen your name in a while, man. Welcome back.
Yeah, right. Congrats for coming back.
Shane, fun fact, Shane has won probably close to the most stuff off of our giveaways than anybody else in this here league. Him and Lonnie are probably neck and neck, I'm going to guess.
Yeah. Yep.
Recency biased. He just did it earlier. She's done it.
Speaking of giveaways, Swank, guys, we have a couple of those little people shout figurines we're going to start giving away in the next couple weeks. So just keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, Scott's got like an endless supply of them. It seems like people just funnel those to him. So we're going to keep giving them away. We have a Wheel of Destiny tonight too.
Yep, we could do the Wheel of Destiny tonight. We got the people that left comments on Sunday sessions.
Yeah.
And you guys qualify to go to our if you win, you go to our shop. You pick out whatever you want. Let us know what it is, what size you want, and we'll get it out to you.
Hell yeah. Just go over to 247buffpandemonium.com/shop and check out what you want on our bonfire. We got Josh Williams. What's up, brother? All right. I think we've caught up. Killer viewership tonight. Thank you guys for joining in. It seems like everybody is very excited to talk about the Miami game, and you're going to have to wait just 1 second because we played another game this last Sunday against the New England Patriots. I think that we should go quick about this game. Likes, dislikes, tangibles, intangibles, that kind of thing, and then get to the meat of the matter. Everybody wants that Miami stuff. So for me, yes, the Buffalo Bills won this weekend. It did not look pretty. This is the second game in a row that did not look pretty. But this time of the season, a win is a win is a win. So RT being our guest, my man, and co-anchor and co-captain and whatever the hell else you want to call it. Tell me, what did you like, what did you dislike from this last weekend's game against the Patriots?
What did I like? Well, they won. First off, that's all that mattered. We needed to win the game. So don't want to dive too deep into the dislikes, but the game itself was a little bit more close for comfort than what I had imagined. Did I think it would be easy? No, but did the Bills in reality in the game let the Patriots hang around a little bit too much? I think they did. For us to have the 4 takeaways that we had and to only come away winning this game by 6, I think there was a lot left to be desired offensively. I thought the Bills defense was phenomenal. My X factor, by the way, was Rasul Douglas, and that prediction was pretty good.
Pretty good.
So, I loved what he brought to the table, and this defense was phenomenal. Once again, I think that's been the story of this season, the Buffalo Bills defense stepping up despite the amount of injuries that they've had. So all in all, a win's a win. Chalk it up, move on, and prepare for this week against Miami.
Ooh, hell yeah. Rasul Douglas, dude. I mean, you just can't say enough good about the dude. I think we should extend him, pay him whatever the hell he wants. Who knows what the state of Trey is? I hope he comes back. I hope these two hit the field next year. Can you imagine a Trey, a Rasul Douglas, a Matt Milano, a Bernard? I can't even imagine how physically dominating and amazing that kind of combination would be. I want to pay him all the money. Also, our boy Floyd, man, still making plays. He's like the amazing free agent pickup that got overshadowed by Douglas slightly and is still balling out. Without Floyd and Douglas, we are not talking about playoffs, I don't think. Without those two players, those two clutch free agent pickups from our boy Big Baller Bean, you probably would not be talking about playoffs right now. I'll just say that. So huge accusations. COVID fog. Watch out. Not accusations. Moving over to Scott. Scott, buddy, what did you like? What did you dislike from this win this last weekend?
Well, both of my answers right here are going to increase this conversation a little bit, guys. What I liked, Terrell Bernard, 10 tackles, 2 sacks, quietly being that middle linebacker that we were all scared would be the starter this year because we had no idea he was injured, and all of a sudden he's turned into, yes or no, all-pro
100%.
linebacker.
100%. I think so.
I'm all about that take. I've been hammering the table with how well he's played. I've had half-hour-long conversations with my dad on the phone as he drives into his night shift, only about Terrell Bernard. I'm in love with the dude. I think he's phenomenal. I'm over the moon with how well he's played this year. I really am. Couldn't be happier.
When he came out of the draft, I dubbed him right away as Milano 2.0.
Yep.
So, Swank, go ahead. What are your thoughts on that, my friend?
No, I was just going to bring up the fact that when a certain Tremaine Edmonds, how far we've come, by the way, from the offseason to right now. All right. Really worried about the linebacker play, who was going to take over for Tremaine Edmonds, what it was going to look like. Bernard comes in and does the job hands down. I saw a very interesting stat. Bernard's had 6.5 sacks. Maybe he's had an interception, 3 forced fumbles. In this season alone, and it's not over. Still got a game in the playoffs to go. In his entire career here, Tremaine Edmonds had 6.5 sacks and I think 1 forced fumble. So you're talking about Tremaine Edmonds having his whole body of work compared to 1 season of the guy that's replaced him, and I couldn't be happier. Yeah, absolutely. I think he's an all-pro. He should go for sure.
And I brought that up because I saw a stat earlier today. Remember, Milano was an all-pro last year. Bernard has better numbers than he did last year.
Yep, I saw that one too.
Second half of the question, what I didn't like, and this goes along with our content creator and Rob Mullen, a topic he brought up in the All-22, when. And what that discussion, guys, he put the link out there on the feed, on the comments. Check it out, read it up. The question was, that what I didn't like is the end of the game when they used Josh Allen as a designed run at the end of the game to seal the game. Now they could have obviously not gotten the first down with one of the running backs and kicked a field goal, which still would have made it a two possession game, 2-score game, and we still would have won handedly. Or you finish the game with your playmaker, get the first down and time it out. What was your guys' theory or thoughts on seeing Josh design quarterback keep it at the end of the game? That of which he did come up with a stinger on his left arm.
Go ahead, RT. You go. We both did the same huge sigh before we answered this. So you go first, dude.
I was pissed off. Like, that's the best way I can put it. I hate those plays in general. Like hate them. But the scenario was completely unnecessary. In that moment, it was like the third to last play of the game. And to see him in that vulnerable position, defenses live for that. They live for those moments of being able to key in on a quarterback at any point in a game. That's their goal defensively, to hit the quarterback as many times as they can. And they just put Allen out there like he's a Derrick Henry running back when they don't need to. They have far too many weapons on their offense. And think they should know that by now with what we've learned about guys like James Cook and company, to not have to use Allen like that in the waning moments of a game. So I hope he's okay. I've heard he's good to go. He said he's as much as he's good to go. So hopefully it's nothing too crazy, but it ticked me off. And Rob took the words. I was typing almost the exact same words that Rob was in that chat.
Yeah.
I was like, he was a little bit more hotter than me in that moment to beat me to it. But I agree with him 100%. It was bullshit. It really was. It really made me mad.
You have like your franchise guy. You've tried to like contain him, like the Dorsey years, right? The dark ages, we call them. When he was here, that was like, do everything to get the ball out of Josh's hands. Don't let him run. Now it seems like they're trying to overcompensate for that lack of all of this in the early part of the season, and they're kind of letting him run buck wild, and I love it. And it's the same way as it was when Dable was here. I love it, but like, you got to be a little smart. Like, you can control that part of the game. You don't have to have him run that ball. It didn't matter if they got that first down. Bass could have kicked the field goal, and we would have been merry and happy and let the defense come out and do what they did all day. I think there's got to be some smarter decisions. I think this isn't as desperate as it feels sometimes at the end of games. Does that make sense? It feels like, especially in the last couple of weeks, where it's like these games are close, whatever. There's a lot of things going on. That play in particular, that lateral, which awesome, great. I really wish Shakir would have took it in, because then it would have just shit all over the Chiefs. And taking away Kelsey's beautiful lateral for a touchdown. I really wanted that for that. But then I was looking at it like, we've seen Josh Allen do this too many times now. And he needs to stop doing that. It was a cool play. It worked out okay. But if it didn't and he fumbled it, it would have changed the whole course of the game. So we need to start getting a little level-headed about this. This isn't do or die. This isn't make or break. Play your game to win it and be done with it and move on. Live to play another day. Don't make a stupid mistake trying to be a hero, which we use that word a lot with Josh Allen.
Yep.
So
Corey Blaine comes up with a question: when can we stop complaining about the Allen runs and doesn't run? My rebuttal to that: Josh scrambles. It's a play breakdown, right? It's a pass play. Linebackers dropping in their zones. It's not the key. There's no key with the offensive line to follow that running back. He's the one scrambling, creating his own play. The design run is linebackers and safeties are reading the keys, the pulling guards. There's not much of a delay in Josh's run, and they're attacking him just like a running back. The difference is we do like the Josh Allen designed run plays. We do. They come as part of the package, the scheme, the first 10 plays, whatever it is, to get Josh acclimated to the game, to get him comfortable.
Yeah, early in the game.
Maybe it's a necessity. This particular play was a play that was not necessary. All the other ones we enjoy. This play was not necessary due to the points that what Swank said and RT said. If we got the first down with the running backs, we're downing it. If we didn't, we're field goaling it. We're up by two scores. We still win the game. So it's not that we're complaining about the run. That was a bad play call that potentially put a quarterback in danger, especially the guy that's going to be with us for another 4 years.
And Scott, to echo that and to add something to rebuttal that comment, ask yourselves the question, simple question: how long do we want Josh Allen to be the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills? How long do we want this guy's shelf life to be? Because we've seen other quarterbacks that are similar, not as great as Allen, that have similar attributes, that once they hit 32, 33, they're essentially 37, 38 because of the way they played from 27 to 32. That's my point. And that's a point that I think is very valid when you look at guys like Cam Newton and Big Ben that did run around and took a lot of hits, a lot of unnecessary hits that they didn't need to take because they were utilized late in games to run the football for their team. We don't want that. I think design runs is one thing early in the game, and Chris Brown made a great point today on the One Bills Live with Steve Tasker, of course, that Josh needs those plays early to wake up for a game a little bit, to get hit. Some guys need to get that jab in the face in a fight even to wake up and know where they are to an extent. But at 3rd and 2, that late in the game, and that was really the moral victory of the Patriots to put a stinger in the neck of Josh Allen. That was really the only thing they were able to muster up in that second half. It was provide Allen a stinger, So I'm not a fan of it. It really agitated me, and I think any Bills fan should be agitated with that play.
Absolutely. I think it was unnecessary, but I will play devil's advocate. We got Corey Blaine in the comments, and he's talking about when we were losing, everyone was upset we weren't using Josh. I agree they need to be realistic about when they use him. I do agree with that.
Yeah,
we're just looking for like a balanced attack, right? That buzzy word that nobody wants to use, but everybody really wants in an offense, a balanced attack. I will say this. When you take 2 quarterbacks, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, for the last 2 seasons, they are the only 2 quarterbacks in the entire NFL that have played every single game. So when we are talking about Josh Allen putting himself at risk, or coaches or coordinators making play calls that put him at risk, he has been healthy. He does take hits. He likes to take hits. It is part of his game. What we're saying is, like, be more balanced about it. Be a little smart about it. Give and take. There are times that he's going to hurdle a guy. There are times he's going to put his shoulder down and just wrench a dude. But when you're talking,
he'll hurdle. He'll go up.
Dude will hurdle, but you got to kind of preserve him for those times, right? Like, you're not going to have Josh Allen for the next 14 years if he does that play after play after play after play.
He won't be doing that in the next 14 years. That's the point, right?
Yeah.
So
that won't be part of his game.
It won't be. It'll be completely gone from his game. And at that point, you're not the player that you were. That's a major part of who he is. We want that. He's a human joystick quarterback. He defies physicality logic. No one that's 6'5", 6'6", 240 should be able to move the way that he's moved. And we've been to games, whether you're sitting in the 300s, 200s, 100s, or whether you're at St. John Fisher, you have to wipe your eyes and wonder, how does this guy move the way that he does? I thought that even in his rookie year, at his rookie training camp, I thought, nobody knows that this guy can move like this yet. When they do, it's going to be fun. And then it was.
So I just don't want to see Josh Allen with 2 huge knee braces at the age of 28.
Right.
Yeah. Rob Mullins got a great stat here. Since Josh was drafted, he's taken 227 hits, 7 years. Rob Mullins, in Matthew Stafford's career, 14 years, 252 hits. So you're looking at, I mean, their games are wildly different, right? Matt Stafford's mostly a pocket passer, blah, blah, blah. But just in a comparison, longevity-wise, Tom Brady didn't have the career that he had, hurdling dudes and taking crushing hits and trying to get that extra yard. You know what I mean? And again, you live and die with them. I don't want to dwell on this part of things for the whole show, but like the things that you love about Josh Allen are also the things that you cannot like about Josh Allen. It's kind of like when things are going good, he's a genius. That lateral. All I thought about was that Texan playoff game, that lateral, right? When he did that, right? Because he would have been a hero in that Texans game, but he was a dud. He was a kid that made a stupid decision. And the other day, if he would have fumbled that lateral instead of Shakir picking up the first down or whatever, he would have been an idiot. But now he's aged, so we're accepting it because it worked out. It's kind of like
and we've seen it before. We're more used to it. I think too. That could be a little bit of it too. But
it's a wily veteran move now instead of a rookie.
Double-edged sword. There was a guy by the name of Brett Favre, lived by the sword, died by the sword, gunslinger. From day one to the final day he put the helmet on. And that's Josh Allen too.
Really, from the final day, he sent a picture of his joint to a news reporter.
That did happen.
Gunslinger.
That did happen. Yeah.
Yo, in the comments, we got our friend Bill's Maverick chiming in, interacting with some folk. Bill's Maverick is a super fan. It comes down to our regular season rager, where you can see the 3 of us, plus a guy that looks just like Scott. Jerry, he's not here tonight. That's a good time, man. We're gonna have to start planning that pretty soon. I was just thinking, like, September. Jesus, it's only
before you know it, dude.
2020
Labor Day weekend. Labor Day weekend,
There-
Saturday.
Yep.
Mhm.
We'll be at Reinvention Brewing again down here in Shortsville, New York.
But glad to have you, Maverick. Maverick's got his own show, Flight School.
Mm-hmm.
Let everybody know in the comments, Bills Maverick, when your show goes on.
Hell yeah.
Sure.
We got our
Hell
boy John Johns saying sorry he's a bit late. John Johns, you don't got to apologize, bro. You're here now. You know, you're here with RT, me, Scooter. It's a great night. Let's see. Dr. Bruce statistics show that Josh is more likely to get hurt in the pocket than he is running either in design or scrambling. Yep, for sure. All Bills.
Remember that elbow? Jadeveon Clowney came down on his elbow,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh man,
Yeah.
Not fun on that day.
All right, I never got to my likes and dislikes. I'm going to hit them really quick for this game before we get way off track because we want to spend all the time talking about Miami, right? And we kind of have, I guess. It's kind of like all leading the same place. For me, man, dislike special teams, bro. Get it together. We need to get this coverage team like on point. There might be some changes coming. I hope that it does not affect our postseason here. Knock on wood again, that we get into the postseason and everything. But it just seems to be like a little bit of a liability right now. And I'm not digging it. No hate on Bass or Reed Ferguson or Sam Martin doing his job, man.
Dude, he was phenomenal. Yep.
Yeah, just a week after us talking about like getting punt god because Sam Martin was kind of like, meh. But now he's, I don't know, man. He's always been like solid. The last 2 seasons.
He was reading the tweets or something.
Yeah.
He ate his Wheaties Sunday morning.
But yeah, I'd like to see that coverage team, man, get their act together a little bit. It's getting to the point where like, why? I'd just rather he kick it out of the back of the end zone. I know statistically it says if you let them return it, they will not make it to the 25. Statistically, that is a fact. If they return it, they are not going to get as far as if it's a kickback or a fair catch. So if you bait them into doing it, I get the logic. Sometimes I'm just booted out the back of the damn end zone and let this defense do what this defense does. My positive, this defense. Ed fucking Oliver is a monster, dude. I just can't get over it. Him and DQ, side by side, grinding it out. I mean, if you're not excited about this Bills defense, I don't know what the hell you're excited about this season, man. They have just taken nothing and made it better and better and better each week. And, Ed Oliver has 9.5 sacks. This week, he could be the first DT to have double-digit sacks since our boy, Kyle Williams, the only other Buffalo Bills DT to do it. So,
Future
let's go.
Wall of Famer.
Let's go. Ed's just on fire, and he's having fun, and I love it. I love every second of it. So that's kind of what we took for this game, guys. Thanks for all the comments. Don't forget we're part of the Buff Fan Base Network, sponsored by 26 Shirts. Go to 26shirts.com. Give Del Reed and the gang all of your money for a good cause, and you'll enjoy it. I guarantee it. You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it. Moving ahead, man. Here it is. Miami. We're going to Miami, just like Will Smith said. You know what I mean?
Going to Miami.
Primetime game, 8:20. What's on the line, boys? I'll tell you what's on the line. The second seed in the AFC. Also, the AFC East division winner. Also, a playoff berth. The easiest way to do it, just go and take care of business. The craziest part is that we'll know. We'll know if they're winning in or losing out by the time it comes around to the game. And I don't know if I like it or I don't like it. I think I'll like it a lot if I watch the Steelers lose. That would be amazing. Other than that, I know how this is going to work. I already know. It's going to be everything out. That's the only way it can be, right? Like the script writers got it set. But let's get into this game. Some big injuries, a lot of junk being talked. It's a crazy time to be a Bills fan. It's a crazy time to be a Dolphins fan. Scott, I'm going to throw it right to you first, brother. What are we looking at? What are we getting into going down to Miami this Sunday?
Well, first of all, I want to give kudos to the fans because they're going to fill up about half of that stadium. Second
Half.
yeah, maybe more. Gee,
Maybe more.
I ain't kidding. I hate what the NFL does and Ticketmaster does and all that stuff with these kind of tickets, and they quadruple the price of them just to get people there. Not just to get people there, but make people pay for it. It's kind of ridiculous. But the second part of it, loving the fact that it's a night game. I know Miami Heat's not as bad as it is in September during this time of year, but it's still a factor, the sun and all that stuff. So we don't have to get scorched. And the third thing I'm looking at, it's our time to prove everybody right with the whole Miami Dolphins only beat bad teams, and the Buffalo Bills are who they say they are, and they come in and destroy. They've played the Miami Dolphins in the last 11 games. They beat them 10 times. It's just something that just needs to continue on. There's no real changes. We have a bunch of injuries, okay? White's not playing. We've done that before, right? Against Miami. Milano is not playing for the Buffalo Bills. They have some key defensive players that are missing too. Xavier Howard is out for this game, and Chubb is out for this game. So injury is always the great equalizer. And I think the home field advantage is gone now that the Miami Dolphins can't utilize that heat. And I think it's going to be a dominant game by the Buffalo Bills. Perfect timing to go into this playoffs. But it is an AFC East rivalry, and there's a lot riding on this. And I don't think the game would be any different, Swank, if we knew Pittsburgh won compared to if they didn't. I think the Bills know that number 2 seed is more important than slipping in at number 6 or number 7.
Oh, I'm not talking about the players, bro. I'm talking about fans specifically. The players. Yeah. I understand that. I just think as a fan, this last run of games for the last, I don't know, this whole season, but like these last 2 games especially are like heart attack, edge of your seat, right down to the last 2 minutes. Like, I'm sick of that. I want a Cowboys game. Can we get a Cowboys game up in this mother? Can we get a Miami game from earlier in the season up in this? That's what I want.
I mean, it's tough to watch. Look what we did against the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Cowboys, and then against these bad teams, we let them hang out. I mean, that is frustrating.
It's that whole narrative about playing down to the teams too, and like I don't want to hear it anymore. But it really seems like the game plan dictates the caliber of opponent you have, and I'd really wish that they would just put blinders on, bowl through that.
Foot on the gas
and destroy teams. That's what I want, dude. I want Miami Dolphins fans crying the way they cried about the Ravens running up the score on them after they dropped 70 on a bleeding Denver team. I want that this week. RT, man, what do you think? What are we looking for? What are the high shiny spots of this matchup we got coming up on Sunday?
Man, I love football. You guys love football. We all love football. That's why we're here doing the show. That's why they're tuning in. Right? But the people that are tuning in, they love football now. They love football then as well, the past. I like football history. And history says, especially recent history, says that this is the biggest game between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins in what we calculated. I said 20 to 25 years. It could even be more than that in terms of what's on the line for this game. We went over it. The 2 seed, Bills win. They're in the 2 seed. We know who needs to lose. The Steelers, Jacksonville. We know all that. But the powers that be, that are the NFL, they put this game together like this for the fans, so that Bills fans, the heart rate can be a little bit, double heart rate, as well as the Dolphins fans. And both franchises this year have had peaks and valleys, ebbs and flows that I don't think many teams have had. And to be honest with you, even in the games that we've won, and even in games that Miami has won, they're games that maybe Miami losing or beating Dallas, they should have lost to Dallas. Buffalo beating such and such by a little bit, they should have beat them by 20. And there's obviously games this year that the Bills lost that they shouldn't have. Philly, the Week 1 Jets game, we know the story, and it all doesn't matter because the only thing that matters is who wins this game. That's the NFL. Like the full season is in the past. It's to this week. Being the 2 seed, all that we've went through this year was irrelevant to get us to where we could be, that 2 seed. And I really feel that we talk about it all the time, divisional matchups. For whatever reason, the Patriots really seem to match up well with Buffalo. I couldn't tell you why. Buffalo seems to really match up well with Miami. And you'd think Tyreek Hill, he's good against everybody. He's not really that good against Buffalo. Jalen Waddle, not really good against Buffalo. So with that, and Josh Allen thrown in there as well, only 2 career losses to the Dolphins, if not for the Heat and Charles Clay dropping a pass. I'll always remember that game.
Mhm.
Josh Allen would be the undefeated, Tom Brady to Buffalo, what that was, Buffalo quarterback to Miami. And I think they have Miami's number. I think that they should win this game. Miami is not at a point where they've dealt with the injuries as long as Buffalo has, to the point that Scott made. And Tua is mediocre. I don't think he's a legit MVP caliber top 5 guy. 1-4 against 500 teams this year. All signs point to the fact that the Bills should win this game. They could play this game in Buffalo. They could play it in Miami. They could play it in the desert. They could play it in an igloo. And I think the Buffalo Bills should win this game. If the best version of the Bills shows up, they win.
Whew, RT. Getting me. I was about to rip my shirt off, climb a mountain, plant a flag, bro. No, I mean, you're right. The thing is, and we were talking about it a little bit before we went on air. There is this false narrative around the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins have not earned anything. 0. The Buffalo Bills have been the laughing stock of the NFL for years, even past the drought. Josh Allen, they are waiting for Josh Allen to do anything that they can cut him down for. I mean, you're talking about snubbing a guy for MVP who has the most touchdowns in the NFL. You don't even want to put him in the conversation, right? You want to talk about him being reckless. You want to talk about him being the guy that all these stupid analysts had him pegged as pre-draft. Like, before he even got drafted. People want to be right so bad, they're hanging on to this crap 6-7 years later. And it's got to stop.
Sad.
It's so
sad.
It's so disrespectful to the kid who all he does is give to the community, perform on the field, provide wins, whether it's pretty or it's not pretty. He is a leader of men on that football team. They respect the hell out of them. And make no mistake, that team would not be anywhere near where they are without Josh Allen. And the stats prove that, everything. So everybody just calm down on my boy Josh. And if we're flipping the page, Tua had 3 straight years of garbage. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. People made fun of him. He was a joke. You get Tyreek Hill, all of a sudden the dude can lob a pass within 5-10 yards of him, and he's a stud, MVP. Give him the crown, man. I don't believe in it. I don't believe that is sustainable. They talk about, we had that whole conversation about how Josh's playing style is not sustainable. Tua's playing style is not sustainable. People will catch on to that. You take away the weapons that mean so much to him, and he's lost. I was there. I saw it live. I was at the game. I know what the Dolphins look like. You can't tell me that the Buffalo Bills are a worse football team than the Miami Dolphins. There's just no way. And the amount of disrespect that goes into awarding them a crown that they haven't even won, saying that the Bills are not worthy of winning the AFC East this year. If they win this game, they got it. And they've won the AFC East for the last 3 fucking years.
And they would have swept Miami too.
Yeah.
Sweep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get your brooms out.
Yeah. Let's go. So it just, the national narrative, Dolphins fans on Twitter, man. Oh God. Oh man. I try to hold my tongue as much as I can. I try to say as little as possible. But I'm gonna tell you what, Monday, if what I believe is gonna happen happens, Monday, everybody's gonna hear everything. Everything. Miami Twitter was so quiet Sunday night and Monday morning. I couldn't believe it. There's these dudes that just hammer, and then they lose embarrassingly, and you hear nothing. Because that narrative about not beating winning teams, right? You beat the Cowboys by a little. We beat them by a lot. Mopped the floor with them. Had a harder schedule than you all season by what? I don't know. How many ranks? The Finns, I went through their win column, and I was just like, who are these teams that they're playing that they beat? like they're nobodies, absolute scrubs in the league, and you're parading around. We can't help our schedule. We're a monster. They had the gall to go into last week's game thinking that they were going to take the 1 seed away from the Baltimore Ravens, and they are not a flea on an elephant's ass of the Baltimore Ravens.
The biggest point that you made, Swank, is you made a lot of great points there, but the biggest point that you touched on is the and I made it too, 1-4 against the 500 teams, but you really look at why the Dolphins are in the position that they're in, that they have to beat the Bills to win this division. They shouldn't be in this position just as much as the Bills shouldn't be in it. Like, neither team at this point should be in this exact position, but they are for the same reasons. Actually, Buffalo lost to some teams that they shouldn't have lost to.
Yep.
Miami lost to some teams that they shouldn't have lost to, and Miami beat some teams that they actually shouldn't have beat as well. Whereas I look at last week, they got trounced by Baltimore, but prior to that, the game that is the microcosm to me of who the Dolphins really are is the game against the Tennessee Titans, where you had a 2-touchdown lead, 2-possession lead, 2 minutes left in the game. The defense is highly overrated. It's filled with players that have played on 2, maybe 3 teams already prior to coming to Miami, or some young guys that have been okay. And they let Will Levis go right down the field, up and down, just easy. If they let Will Levis do that, what does that mean when they're playing against Josh Allen? What does that mean when they're playing against Lamar Jackson? Well, we've seen it already. We've seen what their defense can do against Allen. We've seen what their defense can do against Lamar Jackson. Not much. And even Mahomes, he was more successful against Miami than he was really against anybody all year long. I think Miami's defense really overrated. That's the biggest piece of why they're where they're at. And just as much as their offense is overrated, I think their defense is even more overrated. And that says a lot, in terms of what you were saying.
And the Howard and Chubb injury did not help that cause out at all.
No, those are the 2 best players on their defense.
Yeah, I do want to clarify, because I've heard a lot of like Howard is out. I don't think he's officially been ruled out. I know that McDaniels talked about how it didn't look good, but I don't think he's officially been ruled out. So
I think he's like 50-50,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Maybe more 64. I don't know.
60-40?
I think he's trending out, but I just don't want anybody to get like the wrong impression and then see him active and be like, what the hell?
But let's say he is active. Is he going to be what he was, or prior to that? Probably not, right? So, their 2 best players are one is out for sure. Chubb is out for sure. And he's a player I actually really like. And then you have Howard, who, might not be as good as he was. And everybody else is just kind of there. There's not really anybody that jumps out at me that puts fear in my heart as a Bills fan. I can't say the same thing about some other defenses in the league, teams that aren't even in playoff contention that have better defenses than they do with some talented players.
Well, the Bills have ran the gauntlet with heavy defenses all year long.
Right.
I don't know. This defense doesn't scare me, especially when 2 of their biggest pass or rushing threats are out. And then we got our boy Harold Fuller weighing in. What role will Ramsey play versus Diggs? The same role I think that he's played the whole career of their matchups, where
Stepson, son.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Stepson and father. Hell yeah.
Little brother. He's the youngest Diggs brother, I guess.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you could talk about Ramsey maybe playing with a chip on his shoulder, trying to prove something. I think things are boiling up to be the game that we all want it to be. Diggs needs a breakout game. He wants a breakout game. I think that he's more than content playing the way he's playing and them winning games. You are seeing a completely different Stephon Diggs right now than you saw last year when they were losing games because of stupid play calls, a la Dorsey, right? Now he's getting less snap counts. They're winning games, even scraping by. They're putting the W's up. He's a happier guy. People want to make a story about this. I don't see a story. I see the potential for a breakout this week. I see people underestimating Stephon Diggs coming into this huge game and it being a problem. And number one, I think Ramsey is going to be the benefactor of some highlight reels tapes come Monday morning. So for me, I don't see Ramsey being any more of a factor than he has been at all any of the times he's met up with the Bills and Diggs and Allen, going all the way back to him being in Jacksonville, to be honest. Harold also asked, will Elam play? In the past, he does well versus Hill. What do you guys think about that? Scott, you think Elam suits up this weekend?
I think he had the opportunity the first week they played, and he didn't. So I like Rasul. He's kicking ass right now and taking names. And obviously Benford was holding down his own, and the safety situation with Micah and Hyde. Micah is Hyde and Poyer. That's not going to change. I don't think they'll dress him just to be a backup to just in case. So they'll keep the roster as is, I believe. That's how they would do it.
Yeah.
If you were to bring Kyer Elam in, it'd be to start. I believe the only reason he would come in is to start because of an injury, not to take Taron Johnson's job or Cam Lewis's job or any of those guys' job. He'd already been there if that was the case.
I think it to that question too, and to Scooter Magruder's point, I just don't think Kyer Elam plays the way that Sean McDermott wants that position to play. Like that's the only conclusion that I can come to, and I come to that conclusion. The only thing that I could say that's like a negative to Rasul Douglas is you watch him. He's not fast. He's not slow, but he's not 4.4, 4.3.5. He's not like first round talent. He's not, but he is a savvy ball tracker corner. He tracks the ball really well. He tracks whoever has the ball really well, makes really good tackles. He reminds me of a taller, more stockier version of like an Antoine Winfield for the folks out there that remember him. He was like 5'9", 5'10". He was flying all over the field, not necessarily because he was like fast, but he was aware of what was going on, the X's and O's up there. And you go watch any interview of Rasul Douglas, you'd say that guy just knows football. That's why he's such a good player. So I think that's why Elam has been held out. It's the only conclusion that I can really come to is that those guys are playing the zone, sometimes man style, whereas Elam is more of a man-to-man guy. And Tyreek Hill, as much success as Elam had against him, that's where Tyreek Hill has been booming this year, is when guys try to go one-on-one with him, not many guys can track that guy down.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky one. You have to try to bottle him up, and the best guy to do that on that team is Rasul Douglas.
And with the help of our safeties. I can't believe these teams continue to defend Tyreek Hill and Waddle without having that too high
safeties.
They beat you on the outside and deep, and the Buffalo Bills defend that really well. So in our defenders, our defensive backs understand that. So that's why Kyer Elam was successful. That's why our Bills have been successful against them. They know over the top they're covered by our two All-Pros, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I love that. And man, how great was it to see Micah Hyde out there Sunday? I mean, there was seldomly a moment where it didn't show him with a smile on his face while he was running out while he was playing. Like that guy, he really is the heart and soul of their defense. I think there's a lot of guys that they could point to this year that have had breakout years, but when he's back there, it changes things. It just adds a different element to their defense, in my opinion. And it was great to see him out there.
And is Poyer laying the helmet a little more than he used to? I mean, it seems
laying
like
the
laying the lumber.
I think he's a little frustrated, man. I think he's had his hand on a couple balls to pick off. I think he's gotten close a couple times. I think, this time last year he was banged up. He had this crazy interception streak going, and he's kind of came up empty. So man, I would love JP to get one before why not, man? Have a game.
One or two of those duck passes that just
make
flutter right into
his one, you guys. Turn that one of your bold predictions, fellas.
Yeah.
Real quick, Rob Mullen, Miami official report today: Waddle and Howard doubtful. Now I know McDaniels in a presser said that Waddle wasn't going to play, so maybe they just wrote whatever on the injury report, but I know for sure he said Waddle wouldn't play. Howard, I know he said it was leaning week to week and it was going to be bad. So I understand the doubtful on that. I think the Waddle, the doubtful label on Waddle is kind of a little bit of inside baseball, trying to be a little tricky there. Phillips and Chubb out for the rest of the season. Yep, we knew that. And Tua is officially questionable, according to CBS Sports covering today's practice. I think Tua plays. How sore or whatever he is. We'll see what's up. But I don't see him missing this game. If he does miss this game, I would question the kid's character. How about that? Put that in the tabloids down in fucking Miami tomorrow. How about that?
I was just going to jump on that if you weren't going to. I agree with you 100%.
He'll be out there.
You want the conversation about Tua and Josh Allen? Josh Allen's got a stinger. He's played with a bad arm. You gotta adjust. I know Tua relies on lofting that ball up nice and high for 50 yards.
Yeah,
it may be affected, but you still got to play, man. This is number 2 seed. This is AFC East, beast of the East. You have to play Tua.
Harold asks, who is Tua's backup? Is it Mike White?
Yep.
Mike White. Yep.
Mike White from New York Jets fame last season and the season before. Doug asks, where is Knox at with concussion? No concussion. You guys know? Any idea?
I know that they mentioned earlier that Chris Brown mentioned that he had an MRI today, and they did a scan, I guess, but no news on that yet.
He didn't look like he was too banged up.
No, he stayed in the game, right? I mean, he never came out of the game.
Yeah, I didn't see him come out. No.
Yeah, so I think he should be good to go.
Yeah,
I tell you, I liked seeing him and Kincaid get out on the field at the same time, and Kincaid with that release route that he ran, that was gorgeous. that
rookie move, man.
Very fun.
If he wouldn't have looked back, I think if he would have put his head down and just chugged as fast as he could, he would have scored. He would have
put it in the end zone. Yeah.
My bold would suggest Knox could take a week off if he wanted to.
Oh. Look at you. We call that foreshadowing in the business, everybody. So take note of that. Casey says, I believe he cleared protocol day of. Charlotte says, no concussion at last report. We got the best people at 24/7.
Guys are awesome.
Nice.
For real.
Christian, does anyone know who the officials are for this game? Decent crew, bad crew. I have not heard. Have you guys heard?
Well, I've heard they're not the, for the lack of a better term, shitty refs that were reffing the
Steelers
Detroit Lions game. They're doing the Ravens game, which I'm just as much concerned about that one as I am those refs.
I'm not, dude.
You're not? Okay.
No. I tweeted out earlier today at NFL officiating when I saw that story that they were refereeing that game, and I said that's good because the Steelers are known to line up off sides, and then I put at NFL officiating. So
that's true.
Trying to give us a little bit of.
TJ Watt gets a little heated from time to time. There's some unnecessary roughness penalties that they could throw out there too.
No, I don't know who our crew is. To be honest, I don't know who I'd want. Like
I'm not seeing one assigned yet, to be honest with you.
No.
I'm not seeing one that would be like, man, those refs are really great. Not this year, because I don't think any of them have really been that great.
Whichever crew has thrown the least amount of flags, I think, is the one I want right now.
Sure.
So let's
the crew for the Dallas Bills game, that would be ideal, right?
Shane's got a wild, bold prediction, and we haven't got here yet. He spelled it perdition, and I like that too. My bold prediction: Kincaid throws Allen a touchdown. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
That'd be awesome.
All right, real quick, we're gonna get into bolds and X factors and score predictions and all that stuff. It's 8:54. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here for the K-Gun Report on a Tuesday night. We gotta spin this wheel of destiny, man. So, if you were on Sunday sessions this last Sunday for the last 1:00 game of the season against the New England Patriots, and you left a comment, your name is on this wheel right here. They could have been on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter now. Wow. If you leave a comment any of those places when we do a giveaway, you get put on the wheel of destiny or death or whatever you want to call it. We're going to spin this here wheel, and the winner gets to pick anything they want off of our Bonfire site. That is our online store. We got hoodies, we got t-shirts, we got tanks, we got long sleeves, we got hats, all sorts of crazy shit. And you can grab whatever you want. Compliments to us. Thanks for being great people and supporting 24/7. So you got a little drum roll or something? I don't know. You got something for me?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Spin that wheel.
Lasers and oh my god. Do employees count, man? Dr. Bruce is loose. You get to win. You won, bro. Dr. Bruce, pick whatever you want off the website. Let us know. send us a little message on what you want, and we'll get it out to you. And maybe you'll get to it
Message
before
and
game time.
your address. We'll get it shipped right out.
Hell yeah!
Congrats,
Dr. Bruce. Great content creator. The doctor is in. Go over and check out the injury report at 247buffon.com/blogs. All right. RT, dude. Bold prediction, man. If you're playing along in the comments, we're looking for your bold prediction for this weekend's game. We're going to start down south with Ryan Thomas, RT of the Thomas Takes Sports Podcast. Ryan, what is your bold prediction?
Bold prediction, I'm going to go defense heavy in this one. I think the Bills will have their most sacks in this game of the year, like in a single game. I think the last game that they had, the game that they've had their most sacks in was against Washington, right? Am I right on that?
They stacked them up that game.
Yep.
They stacked them up. I see a similar performance because I think the Bills are going to come out. If they get the ball first, the Bills are going to score a TD. Miami's going to feel like they got to force the issue a little bit, especially in front of their own home fans. And Tua is really going to have to rely on throwing the ball in the flat, throwing the ball to the tight ends that they don't necessarily have anymore, right? Mike Gesicki's in New England now. So with that, I see a lot of pressure. I see the same crew out there as well. I would not be shocked if Von Miller was inactive again. And I'm going to put a plug in here about that. So I pre-recorded my show for tomorrow night, Wednesday at 8, of course, Buffalo fan base, where one of the biggest parts of the show, I talked about Von Miller and the defense. And my bold prediction is that Von Miller won't play again, but the Bills defense will sack to upwards of 8 to 10 times in this game. I see that as my bold prediction. Heavy dose of Rousseau, Epinesa, Eddie Oliver, Daquan Jones, maybe a little bit of the wily vet, Leonard Floyd. I know Swank's got a lot of love for Leonard Floyd, as do I. So extend Leonard Floyd. How about that?
Yeah, I like it. We were talking on the show Sunday, man, if for some reason Von Miller might be suspended or get some sort of action taken against him by the NFL, and we didn't have to pay him that part of his contract, and we could cut him, you could absolutely extend Floyd and Epinesa, no problem.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of Rasul Douglas too. Give him a little.
Give him all of them.
Front Lloyd.
All of them. I love it all. Really quick, Dr. Bruce is trying to be the humble doctor that he is. He's a great guy. If you guys don't know, please go check out the injury report. Dr. Bruce is an amazing dude, and we love him so much here at 24/7 Buff Pandemonium. He says, spin it again, let someone else win. I have a proposition for you, Scott. I will spin it again. I will remove Dr. Bruce's name, but Dr. Bruce still gets a prize. Somebody else gets a prize too. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Hell yeah. It's a two
spin.
It's a two for tonight. Dr. Bruce, just because you're a good guy and you suggested it, you're still getting your shit though. And I don't care. You send us your size and we're still shipping you something, or don't. And I'll send you like a 5XL Doot hoodie or something. How about that?
So now, just for the record, if I win anything, I will do the same thing.
Oh man, we're just going to be spinning all night, bro.
Yep.
you shouldn't be on it. You were in the show.
That's true. That's true.
Well,
but I'm just saying, I like that gesture.
Listen,
I'll endorse that gesture for myself if, in fact, I were to ever win anything.
Jerry always writes a comment while he's on the live stream anyway. So like, I think it's partially so that he wins part of the prize or something. So like, you could do that move. That'd be good. We're doubling down for the good doctor because he's a good guy. But Dr. Bruce, you won and you are getting something. And don't argue with me. Here we go.
Yeah, you better tell us we're sending something, and you might as well have the right size and something you want. Spin that wheel.
Watch it be Rob Mullen.
Spin that.
And
DJ, spin that.
RT, to go off what you're saying, 9 sacks against the community.
Mike V. Okay. Mike V. Long time. 24/7 BFOG. Mike V, you got Dr. Bruce to thank for that there spin. But both of you go to 247buffpandemonium.com, pick out what you want, send it to us, send us your size, and we'll get it out to you, man, hopefully before this kickoff on Sunday, all right? And again, thank you guys so much for being so supportive of us. And we love you. All right, let's see here. Bold predictions. We're going over to Scooter Magooter. Keep them coming in the comments, kids.
Yeah, I talked about Knox being able to take a week off if you want to get the head cleared. I think bold prediction, as I saw it in the comments somewhere, which is awesome. Great minds think alike. 11 personnel like crazy. I think it's a game where Allen comes in, utilizing Kincaid, abusing these cornerbacks with the injuries. Xavier Howard not off, obviously he's doubtful now, but it's a foot injury, and from what I heard, it was a significant one. So either way, you have to cut and make all these moves on that foot, guarding our wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs. So 11 personnel for majority of the game, a lot more than what they normally do. Allen taking off, looking like the old offense, but with Joe Brady calling the plays. I think it's going to be a dynamic game. Diggs needs to have a big game too, so he doesn't need to. I would love for him to have one. He deserves it. He's been humbled. He's been quiet. He's been excited for winning, and we just love to see like people like that get their due pay. So 11 personnel like crazy. That's my bold prediction. We're going to see a lot of that.
I was waiting for it. I was like, okay, you said a lot of names, a lot of things, and 11 personnel. Okay, it's 11 personnel. I got it. It's funny that you brought that up at a time like this.
Here we go, folks. We're in overtime.
That's right. We're unprofessional and we go past 9 o'clock and the fan base deals with it because they love us and we love them. Don't forget to go to 26shirts.com. Give them all your money. It's a great time. Bold prediction. For me, my friends, I'm going on the offensive side of the ball as well. I am not going to go in a personnel grouping, but I'm going to go to one singular player. For me, my bold prediction is that Stephon Diggs in that 11 personnel will score 2 touchdowns and go for over 100 yards. That is the bold. He will make Jalen Ramsey his bitch for like the 4th or 5th time in a row. And
Swank, why don't you up that to 150?
I almost did. And don't you dare me. Don't you? Okay, 150 and 2 TDs. That's right. Bold as hell here on the show. We're spinning the wheel again. No.
That's bold. That's bold. I love it because Jarrod tells us, because he puts out the post every week, bold predictions, score predictions, and X factors. And every week, RT, he tells us on the messenger, guys, cut it up a little bit. It's too long of a message. But sometimes we like to defend our
yeah.
answer, right?
Hey man.
Yeah.
Jerry, you got one job, bro. Suck it up.
Give the people what they want.
Give the people what they want, man. Bold predictions. Hell yeah. Let's see here. I'm catching up now, boys and girls. We got Dr. Bruce saying spin it, Swanky. that was from when we were at Spinner, huh?
DJ Swanky.
We got John's linebackers and DBs will have a field day, at least one defensive score. I like it, dude. Yep. So this season we've had 2 pick sixes, right?
Yeah.
Epinesa
and Rasul, yeah. Yep.
I wonder when's the last time that happened in a season. You know, this defense is picking up and go.
Well, we got safeties and a lineman doing it. It's time for the linebackers to do it.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Remember the year at Jarris Bird, man, where he had like 9 picks? Yeah. There had to be some pick sixes in there. There had to be. I can't remember off the top of my head, but man, that was fun.
Oh yeah. Oh, let's see. Rob Mullen, bold prediction. Allen rebounds in a big way and back in the MVP conversation. I like it, dude. Dr. Bruce, right down the same line. Allen throws for 350 and 4 touchdowns. Yes, hell yeah. Jim Graham says Daquan Jones has 2 sacks. I saw somebody put out his snap count in the comments, around 56%, I think, of the snaps.
It's pretty high. Pretty high for his first game back, I thought, which is great.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
You know?
Hell yeah. I think he's been ramping up, and you know how the Bills brass do it, man. They let him get comfortable and get back in when they feel like they like beyond when they feel like they can. So
and to answer a question for earlier, someone asked why Linville Joseph was benched, not active. The Bills do like to carry one main D1 defensive tackle. Jones came back. That's the reason for that. They like the Puna Fords of the world. They like the DTs 3s of the world. So they want that DT number 1, and that's why those 2 will interchange. Unless we get a heavy rain, a heavy snow game, we might see both of them play at the same time.
Shout out to Tim Settle, man. He looked pretty good.
We got the waddle. We got the Tim Settle waddle, bro. I loved it.
Yeah. That was pretty nice.
We got Chris Christian asking really quick, will Josh's injury affect him much this game? I'd like to ask you guys this because, and I'm sorry if we're going over a little bit. If you guys are cool with hanging for a little later than what we do, I'm having a good time talking.
It's Miami week.
It's Miami week, man. You know, it's for all the marbles. Josh, a couple of those throws this weekend. Way off. Way off. Not stuff that we see from Josh Allen. And I thought, man, I think his shoulder's bothering him more than what people are leading on. And then he drops that dime to Dalton Kincaid, like right then. So do you guys think, is the injury really affecting him? Or is it more of we're looking at hero Josh Allen trying to take more of a bite than he needs to because he feels like he's in desperation mode? I'll throw it to you, Scott.
It's as a quarterback guy, it's a frustrating thing, and he knows exactly what he's doing. If you watch the film, you'll see one pass is overthrown significantly, and then the other one is underthrown. Unfortunately, the underthrown ones are incomplete passes. It's a struggle for a quarterback when he's in that mode to actually pinpoint someone. So when he does like the Kincaid pass, it's a nice win mentally, but it's a battle that quarterbacks go through all the time. I overthrew this one, got to take a little bit off. Damn, underthrew it through a pick. It's a battle. I don't think it's a shoulder issue. It's a mental issue for him.
Got it. RT, what do you think?
Man, it's really tough because I don't know for certain. I can only just judge, as we all do. We can just judge what we see. 2 weeks ago, to me, against the Chargers, was more concerning than this week. And I'll tell you why. Because when I go back and look at that Chargers game, he missed a lot of throws. He missed throws. He missed some against the Patriots too, don't get me wrong, but the misses against the Patriots were misses as well as dropped passes. There were some breadbasket passes that he threw, 4 drops to Scott's point. Latavius Murray dropped one on 3rd and 2. Trent Sherfield dropped one on 3rd and 3 in kind of in the flat. Those are frustrating, and when he's off, it's even more frustrating because that's when those were the moments that he was on. I don't know for certain, but I do feel he's playing through something more than the neck, whether it's his shoulder, whether it's his elbow, or just face the facts, guys. Every team is banged up at this point in the year. He's probably banged up just as much as any quarterback, to the point that we talked about earlier, where he takes more hits than just about anybody. So there's going to be moments where he's a little off. Plus, they've had this wacky, crazy schedule that they've never had before, at least in my lifetime, to where they went months and months and months without playing a game at 1 o'clock on a Sunday. So little things like that, the routine had to change here and there. They're pros. They're going to make it. They're going to make the walk, as he has. To your point, Swank, earlier about him and Mahomes making that walk every time. But I do think he's playing through something. And if he is, the legend just goes up. That's all that means. The legend of Josh Allen just continues to rise, and it puts him in the conversation of the pantheon of the position. Guys like Brett Favre, guys like Tom Brady, he's the best of the best. In today's era, he's top 3 easily, top 2 in my opinion, with the exception of Mahomes, 1A, 1B. However you want to rank him, those are the 2 best in the league right now. So I do think he's playing through something, but just makes the stock go up. And I think this week, knowing that they're playing Miami, he's going to be playing at a mentally high level, knowing what's on the line. He rises to the occasion in these games.
Oh, yeah. The only difference is between him and Mahomes is he's not doing this after every play. You see Mahomes.
Right. There's a lot of differences between him and Mahomes, but that might be the biggest one. And I, for the record, everybody, I'd choose Josh Allen over any quarterback in the league right now. I could take my Bills hat off and put on a Red Sox hat or a Sabres hat, or maybe like just a regular NFL hat, and say that I'd choose him over anybody as my quarterback.
Oh yeah.
Well, you see it like the way teams are drafting. Everybody's looking for the next Josh Allen. He was a diamond in the rough. Nobody believed in him. And then he came in and this is what you can get when you roll the dice a little bit. And when you develop a player who actually has a good core, and like his work ethic is far and beyond the physical traits that he has. And he already had the physical traits. He just didn't know how to dial them in. And now he's, a veteran quarterback with a very impressive resume that hopefully is just going to get better and better and end with a Super Bowl. I love it. Let's see really quick. I wanted to touch on Dr. Bruce said left-sided stinger will be better and not affect his passing, but might impact his taking a snap, especially under center, which is an interesting take. I didn't think about that before. And he said DQJ, which is what I'm calling Daquan Jones now, was wearing a brace but didn't seem to slow him down at all. So I love it. I love it. I love it. I think he's just going to get better and better and better. X Factors going back the other way. Did I start with Scott or did I start with RT? I can't remember.
I think you started with me.
All right, Scott. Yeah. Scott, you got the X Factor, brother. What is up with your X Factor this weekend?
With the injuries to Waddle and the stinger that Tua currently has, I think the X Factor is Miami does also have a pretty potent run game if they need to use it. So it's going to be DJ. It's going to be Ed Oliver. It's going to be the rotation of the interior defensive line, making sure that the gap responsibility is there. We've used that word a lot. But taking that game away from Miami to force Tua to have that stinger get more and more sore throughout the game and relying on throwing it mid-range to where our linebackers can jump on and get that pick six like we were talking about earlier. So the X factor for me, for sure, is the interior defensive line and stopping that run.
I like it. Mozart's out too, right? He's at least banged up.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot of fast guys slowed down this weekend in Miami. RT, what's your X factor, buddy?
Scooter took the words right out of my mouth. I'd like to zero in on one player specifically, though. 2 words: speed kills. And that speed is not just Tyreek Hill. It's Devin A-Chain. This guy is legit. If there's any one player on the Dolphins that I'd look at and say he's as good as advertised, if a Dolphins fan even, dare I say it, as senseless as they can be at times, if they tweeted Devin A-Chain is one of the future stud running backs in the league, I'd agree with that. I think he's a great player. I think he's got a lot of talent. He was somebody that I looked at in the draft and really wanted on the majority of my fantasy teams and got him on the majority of my fantasy teams. And I felt like that because I know that Mike McDaniel loves to have speed on the field when he can get it, use it in a lot of different ways. And I think he's going to be really big in this game. If the Bills can shut him down, not just in the run game, but to my point, if Miami's playing from behind and they're pressuring Tua, he's just as deadly in the passing game as he is in the run game, if not more. So he's a big key for me. If the stat line of Devin A-Chain is less than mediocre, the Bills win this game by a lot. If Devin A-Chain has a decent stat line, this would be a close game. That's how I look at Devin A-Chain in this one.
Yep. He's somebody that came out of nowhere this season and just lit it on fire. And great back. I got him in a bunch of leagues too. Did very well with him. Yeah, I agree. I think run game in general, man, that has been like the Achilles heel to this Bills defense. Aside from like, I don't know, the prevent stuff, but I'd say with DQJ back in the mix and Eddie Oliver playing out of his mind, you got some great, like I said, Tim Settle starting to step up his game, getting in there. Yeah. Let's see what happens. I want to see him stuff this run, and yeah, that's a great idea. Great take. Great takes.
Great takes.
In the comments, we got Mike V saying X Factor is going to be the DBs. I like it. Rob Mullen says X Factor, McDermott's defense coming around, players coming back into the fold like Hyde and Jones will make the difference. Harold Fuller asks, is Tua's stinger in his left arm?
It's in his throwing arm.
It's in his throwing arm. Yeah. Okay. So that's a little bit of a bigger deal there.
What quarterback has had more injuries than this guy in this little time?
I don't know. Joe Burrow?
Yeah. Andrew Luck, maybe?
Yeah.
Right? My God.
Burrow.
It's astounding to me.
Yeah.
It is.
I was thinking about this, and not to get off track, but like Burrow's whole legacy is getting completely tainted. It riddled with injuries. And
well, right now he is the present day Andrew Luck. I hate to say it,
100%.
but
100%.
I like Joe B, to be honest. I do. Not when he's playing the Bills, but I like him overall, and not looking good for his future.
Let's see. John says X Factor linebackers with turnovers. Charlotte, X Factor special teams. I love it. Great take, Charlotte. Chris
Going
Christians.
off your conversation about the Patriots there, Swank.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to go that route, but I'm not going to. For me, man, the X Factor for me, offensive production, no field goals. When I was at the Miami game in Buffalo, I said, I want them to go tit for tat, score for score. They hung like that. The first team that blinked was done, right? And that was Miami, right? They didn't answer the last call, and then Buffalo took over. And I feel like that's the same way this game's going to be. If you answer the call, you go tit for tat, you score touchdowns every opportunity you have the ball, no problem, because Miami can't hang like that. I don't think Miami is built for longevity. They're not built for a slugfest like that. They're built to like zip down the field and score here and there and get these like off script kind of plays. And that's part of our game, or was at least in the past. I think there are more layers to the Bills. I think that our running game is solid and it can open up enough to get our passing game going. And I think like I said, Diggs is going to have a huge day. I just think we got to score touchdowns instead of field goals, and we'll be all right.
Oddly enough to say, Swank, I'm agreeing with you. I think that whole throw the ball deep and let those guys run underneath of it in this explosive offense that Miami has, it's weird to say, but I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, is more of a luxury type of offensive play. Like, look what we have. Show the fast car. Show the fast car. But once you have to bring that car in the throughway with some traffic and you're behind a little bit, it becomes a whole different story. I mean, you would think you'd be able to do that if you're behind, they play catch up and all that stuff, but it's not the case for Miami. They're using it. Right. They're using it when they're up. They can't use it when they're down, which is interesting enough to say.
So, you know why? You know why I think. And you know why I think they can't use it while they're down is even as great as A-Chain and Tyreek Hill, they're small. They're small guys. When they're running over the middle of the field, they're gonna get smashed. And typically, you know, the defense knows who's out there, right? And those are the guys. Hey, they took advantage of us in the first quarter. They try to do this, you know, dink and dunk with us in the fourth quarter, knowing that they have to. We're going to smash them. And that's where Devin A-Chain's been hurt multiple times this year as well because of that. And Hill's been hurt too. And now Waddle is hurt as well. So they have a lot of electric players, but they're not exactly built for the long haul, I think is the way to put it.
Yeah. And granted, what I'm saying is a lot easier to throw the ball when you're ahead. And the defense doesn't know what you're doing, like if it's a close game. And if you're behind, they obviously know you have to pass the ball. So that drives your defensive scheme totally different. You play your defensive backs a lot different. I know that part. But it just seems like, oddly enough, it's like when they have the luxury, they can show it off their nice car. But when it's time to grind, they just can't figure it out.
Yeah. I think it's like a flash in the pan. It's like, look at us. Look what we can do. But again, the Ravens showed that you can't do it like that all the time. Like, we get it. We're going to smash you in the mouth. The Bills proved that. Like, any team with a winning record has proved that all season. So, I don't know. I think offensively, yes, McDaniels, he can be called a genius. He's done something nobody's ever seen and blah, blah, blah. So did Harbaugh with Colin Kaepernick, and that lasted a season, and then teams figured him out. We're at the end of season 2 with McDaniels. Yes, the Dolphins had a really spongy schedule, and they're sitting in a spot where they control their own destiny, much like the Bills. But I just think they got too much on tape. I don't think that they're dynamic enough to change it up. And I think with our secondary playing the way it is right now and our front four playing the way it is right now, it's going to be real hard for you to just sit back there and lob up bombs to Tyreek Hill, especially when Waddle isn't on the other side. So I don't know. I hope that's what they try to do. I keep picturing this Micah Hyde pick from that Patriots playoff game, dude. That's the one.
Oh,
that's the one.
That's one of the best picks I've ever seen.
That's that. I'd love to see that doubled up with Tyreek's little ass body. looking like
That might be the best pick I've ever seen, actually.
Oh, yeah, it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling that same vibe as you are, Swank. I really am.
I love it. I love it.
All right, guys, let's go here. We're getting real late. It's 9:20. Thanks for hanging with us, everybody, and keeping the numbers up. You guys are amazing. Let's go score predictions, and we'll go down south to my buddy Ryan Thomas. Before I ask him for numbers, guys, play along in the comments. Don't forget to follow us. We're here every Tuesday night, well, at least while the Bills are playing. We go into a little bit of an off season afterwards, but K-Gun Report, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. You're having a blast. We're having a blast. Let's go. RT, what's your score prediction for this weekend?
My score prediction is 34-24 Buffalo. I think it will be a little bit of a close game, but the score will look a lot closer than it actually was, is, and always will be. People that will watch this game will know the difference between the two teams, that it's just this simple, that I really do believe that there's a few teams that have another team's number. If I were to look at even great teams against another good team, Buffalo has Miami's number. They should be able to pull this off. I think divisional wise, teams prepare to beat one another, and I feel like the Bills are just too good in this division to let this division fall into the hands of somebody else. They righted the wrong of losing to the Jets. They won that. They split that. They righted the wrong of losing to the Patriots. They won that. They split that. Sweeping Miami is really what matters. All the other stuff, the losses that they had, the Denver and Philly and all that, doesn't matter if they beat Miami. And I think the players know that just as well as we do. And I think this is going to be a great win for the Bills. And this will be a moment that Bills Mafia will remember for many, many years to come.
Oh, I want it so bad. I want it so bad. John Johns, 35-13 Bills. Rob Mullen, 41-30 Bills. Charla, 42-21 Bills. Jim Graham, 24-10. Defensive game.
Nice.
I'm assuming Bills, right, Jim? Dr. Bruce, Bills 38, Dolphins 17. Bills get a home playoff game. Scooter, what do you got for us, buddy?
I'm with John Johns. I'm going 35-14. And our buddy Mark Maddox always says the divisional games are the hardest games. You play them once in the season, you got to play them again. There's stuff that goes into it. The only difference now is the Miami got slaughtered by 48-20 with Ken Dorsey offense. We got a Joe Brady offense now, so it's not anything that they can go off of from a previous game, which I think that's where the advantage is. 35-14. Buffalo continues that 30-plus game score as they have in the last 14 games. I'm with you, John Johns. Let's do it. 35-14.
I like it. Josh Cook, 38-17 Bills. Ed Lasso gets a couple 2-3 sacks. Fuck yeah, dude.
Ed Lasso.
That's awesome.
Ed Lasso. That's awesome.
I think you threw that up earlier, and I was just like, oh, man, I missed it. We talk about homer scores. We could talk about blah, 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 blah. I'll talk a little bit about a get-right game. I usually don't use those kind of terms, and I think it's relevant here. I think this is the ultimate get right, but get right to kicking the shit out of people that we should kick out. And I'm going 35-10. I think this offense is played, and I think Tyreek gets one, and other than that, this defense does what they do, and go Bills. That's what I think.
I like it.
All right, guys. We're way over. Thanks so much to you guys participating in the comments, playing along with our long hour-and-a-half special here. Thanks so much to our special guest, Mr. Ryan Thomas from the Thomas Take Sports podcast. You can catch us here every Tuesday night for the K-Gun Report at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Buff Fan Base Network, sponsored by 26 Shirts. Go to 26shirts.com. RT, I'm going to throw it to you for a final thought and let them know where they can find you.
Final thought. Hey, as I mentioned, storied rivalry here. Going back to the American Football League, where would the NFL be without the great Ralph Wilson allowing the teams to get the merger going? Lamar Hunt as well in KC. You got Don Shula, Marv Levy. You got Jim Kelly, Dan Marino. Now you fast forward Josh Allen and Tua I can't even pronounce his last name, but Tua. That's all I need to say.
Turn the
right?
ball
He's got
over.
the college prestige, and all that stuff. He's had some good games. Is he Josh Allen? I don't think so. So Buffalo's going to win this one. Really excited for tomorrow night's show. I pre-recorded it. It'll be on Wednesday at 8, right on the Buffalo Fanbase Podcast Network, YouTube, Twitter, at Ryan Thomas Take, the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. Dove deep into this game, as well as the Von Miller era that has been in Buffalo. Very interesting stuff. Definitely want you guys to tune into that. There's a lot to take away from Von Miller being inactive. We talked about it as it was announced, but I kind of had a different spin on it as the hours kind of passed on Sunday. So definitely looking forward to everybody tuning into that, and go Bills.
Hell yeah, man. Go Bills. Nicely done. Over here, my brother, Scooter Magooter. Final thought.
Final thought. Hit up 247buffpandemonium.com. I know we did the Pandemonium Wheel of Destiny. We have winners, Mike and Bruce. Hit us up. Let us know, guys, what you need. We'll get it to you. But if you didn't win, you can easily go there and get some merch, 247 Buff Pandemonium, even FLX Mafia stuff. It's pretty awesome. But usually I have a pretty emotional send-off, and this week kind of is the same thing, but it's not as positive. It's kind of like a give it back. And I don't mean give it back like the give it back that everybody does, like you pay for someone else's, all that stuff. This is give it back because the Miami Dolphins fans on Twitter, as we know, the last 3 weeks have been up our asses, even though they've had 2 games prior to worry about. And now they're sitting in a situation where they've shut their mouths right now. They're not talking as much as they did the previous 2 weeks. Don't be afraid as a Bills fans to give it back. And the easiest way and the best way to do it, and I've seen Swank do it already, they can't understand simple, quick terms, not like a whole sentence of stuff that you have as a comeback, just simple little pictures and even 1-word, 2-word quotes that drives them nuts, and set it and forget it, because they also can't stand that. Give it back. This is rivalry weekend. This thing is heating up. It has been for the last couple of years, and we're finally at a point where this game means so much. A week, a second seed is at stake right now for playoff home games. We wouldn't have to play away unless we played against the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC Championship game. That's the only away game we would have to play. Give it back. We've played long enough with the Miami Dolphins toying around with us. Don't be afraid to fight back. It's simple. They're simple-minded.
Just the fans are toying around. The Dolphins aren't toying around with the Bills. That's not going to happen, Swank and Scott.
Yeah. Oh no, I definitely know that. This is a serious game, but the harassment.
It's all Twitter, bro.
I've seen.
Yeah, it's all Twitter bull crap, right?
I see it all over the place. The Mafia babes are getting attacked because it's just the way it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're relentless.
Dude.
And just give it back, guys.
Like, I'm not sensitive, but like the derogatory terms, like the language, like
wow,
it's
I have to jump in on some of this. If I gotta pull it up and
check it out.
I'll throw my hat in the ring.
It is like white trash bungalow bullshit to its best. Miami's worst, dude, splattered all over Twitter. And
sign me up, Buffalo beatdown. Let's go.
Yeah, it's funny, dude, because like I try not to get wrapped up and it's all just bullshit, and it's supposed to be fun, whatever, but some of these dudes, man, they cut like really deep and hard. And
the only thing you could send them is just a picture of a glass. That's the only thing you need to send them.
A glass? I don't know.
Just a glass. And what that would mean is, hey, I just put your quarterback and then a glass.
So my favorite thing to do, I did find a GIF of like that holder that was looking back at the kicker and then got the football in his face. He was a Dolphins player. That one's been like a favorite of mine this week. But my all-time favorite GIF is do you guys watch How I Met Your Mother? Did you ever watch that show?
A little bit, yeah.
So Marshall, there's like this whole episode where like one of the dudes is like dating these girls, and like the girls call Marshall to like ask what happened, why they don't call him anymore, and he's always like, oh honey, like, and the meme is just, or the GIF is like him on the phone like, oh honey. So anytime any Dolphins player says anything ridiculously stupid, I just post that. And it's like, it's very clear that I am part of Bills Mafia and very clear that I'm part of this. And as being like live streamers and all this stuff and involved in this, like we have a big target on our back. I get tagged in way too much dumb shit from Miami fans. But it's just funny to me to like they'll like rant, max Twitter allowage like for characters, and I'll just be like, oh honey.
Hilarious.
Guys.
Love the rivalry though. This is what the NFL is
Yeah,
all
it's
about.
fun.
You hate teams, you love teams. This is why we watch the game of football, is because of this. So
Hell yeah.
kudos.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all that. Thank you so much for being supportive. We love you so much. We went an hour and a half tonight because, hey, it's Miami week. It's for all the marbles, baby. And appreciate all you guys commenting and chiming in. Don't forget, check out 247buffpandemonium.com. Follow everybody on Buff Fan Base. Follow Ryan Thomas. Ryan Thomas Takes Sports Podcast. God damn. Love you guys. Go Bills.
Let's go.
Sunday sessions at 6:30 this week, guys, on Sunday evening. Join us.
I'll
Go
be
Bills.
there. See ya. Go Bills.
Let that fuse run. Let that fuse run. Let that fuse run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to say. You might get the best of him, but sure, never for me. Now, sweet talk the beast, dog tail jack, go and fetch your bang. Try that and upstate boy to the